Welcome to Sweet Tea Channeling. I'm Debbie Pokornik, and as always, with me is my co host, soul sister, and our gifted channeler, Susan Hoskins. Today's episode is a sweet tea treat where we take a quote from a previous channeling and play with it in the stream of consciousness to see what new pictures might arise. This helps us more fully understand the nugget and anchor these channeled messages here on Earth. It also assists in raising us up so that we can ascend into the reality that we are creating right here, right now, a place we lovingly refer to as Hoomadhi. We have already opened sacred space for us all, but to help you get the most from this video, we suggest that you take a moment to center and ground yourself. Then call in your guides to assist you in pulling out whatever is most relevant to you right now. Okay, this is part 3 of Nugget 25, which was so deep and beautiful it needed to be divided up. If you have not yet seen part 1 and 2, you might want to go back a couple of weeks and listen to them first. Or you can just jump right into this one and see how it goes. Just an FYI, part 2 is where we began the channeling that we are continuing here on this episode. In case you are diving in fresh with this one, I will start by sharing the quote that we are playing with. Hoomadhi is a progression of your own humanity to where you dwell together in this consciousness. Even though you are not physically present with each other all the time, you are present in the cosmos. Christopher, I'm wondering if it's anything like the hologram that those who watch Star Trek would be familiar with, where they can actually change the hologram and it's still them in it, but the whole picture around them changes.
You may certainly think of it in whatever way pictures best for you. We would ask, and what we're giving Susan now is, how do you think it's possible when she receives a message that comes out of the blue in words that are not her own? How is that possible if, say, she and Christopher, the energetic being that we use to communicate like this, how do you think that's possible if you haven't already somehow been able to tune into the frequency enough that there's a channel of communication? It exists and you carry it with you, no matter if you're walking on the physical plane or you're dwelling in the consciousness as we are today. That connection is there. And so sometimes all it takes to be there is just to open up space and allow it to flow in. So yes, the hologram works perfectly, and whatever way you wish to see it is perfect for you because it all exists. So just for now, in the simplicity of it, just know that every time you allow yourself to open up to the possibilities, to get up out of the space you're sitting in, if you will, the what you call the reality you're in, you quiet the mind long enough not to be playing there, but rather for your whole awareness to go inside of your own being, tune in the dial, open yourself up, and experience the brand new frequency for you of being with us in spirit while still embodying the physical body. And we work with you. We work with you to find that channel. We work with you to lighten yourself enough that you're not so keenly aware of the density in your current embodiment, but rather you're aware of the brilliance of you when you are allowing yourself to emerge in that space of being fully spiritual while fully human. So as you practice this, as you play in this, as you become aware of the connections, much like you were talking about today, the bonds, the frequency, know that that's being carried with you and transforming you to where more and more you will be connecting with others in the very way you're talking about, even in physical form on earth right now, because you're learning a whole new way to communicate. That's what we would like you to know. We love you dearly, and we truly love honing this brilliant communication together. Okay.
Oh, so that's all we have to do is nothing.
Yeah. So no sweat.
Yes, it is one of those channelings, which most of them are, but that I'll be able to go back to and listen to over and over again to feel into it.
Into it.
What I really love about it is that the locus of control is within us. So it really is just a matter of, wow, that brought my frequency down a little bit. How do I bring my frequency up? Or, oh, I really love doing that. I really can feel myself lift up, and just really focusing on those things and then trusting that we'll know when we get there.
Well, I absolutely love that, and I'm being, reminded of how when we do this together, no matter what we're doing, when we're in Hoomadhi or I'm playing in this consciousness or working on the book, once I do that, I don't shut it down after we're out, even though it's very hard to come back in and do life. It is in those moments when I'm not so focused on the doing of the life, let's say, that those inspirational thoughts come in. I get the words back in. It comes to me. It comes in as clear, really, as, yeah, you and I talking to each other, or even when I'm feeling the messages come in when we're doing the channeling work. So, what that tells me is it really is possible to go into that space, allow yourself to be in it, allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself the messages, just stay open to it because we're carrying it with us.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't just shut off when we come back here or we get off our Hoomadhi.
Yes. When I think about my life back
Mhm.
20 years ago, for example, the idea of being able to know something all of a sudden, to because
Right.
that's how my guides speak to me, is through a knowing, and to
Mhm.
suddenly have this knowing and to feel so confident in this knowing,
Right.
that yeah, that idea seemed a little bit far fetched, but now my thing is the idea of being able to do that across mega distance, you
Yeah.
know, to be able to meet up with people that live in a whole different area of the world, and
Mhm.
to be able to do that. And that now I find mind blowing. But when I can back up and go, gee, but I thought that was mind blowing back
Mhm.
then, I can see how I've kind of evolved and moved on a bit, raised my vibration enough that now that feels like, why isn't there like,
Oh, I love what you just brought up because that's so true. Because when I first started getting messages from Christopher, it's like, okay, I'm getting a message. Okay, I got to leave what I'm doing. I got to meditate. Okay, bring it in now, right? The difference even now is just you and I talk about, I don't feel like I have to shut down one dimension to go into another.
right?
I feel more and more they're blending because that's how I get my messages.
Yes, yes. And then you find yourself saying, to the lady at the grocery store, something about my guide said, and going, oops.
I know. Isn't that
Because
the
there's no, like, it's like, oh, oops, different world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's funny. So I guess in all of this, we naturally evolve into what we're doing by simply allowing ourselves to do more of it.
Yes. And the only other piece that I would add into that is opening up enough
Yes.
to allow, because for a lot of people, I think there is fear there. There
Yeah.
is a doubt. There's a lot of things that can get in the way.
You're so right. What I've come to understand is there is no way to open yourself up to all that can be and to be able to allow this brilliance in if you're immersed in the gunk of fear and the fact that you have to try to control life and you have to power through things because, oh my gosh, if you don't, every fear you can imagine is going to come true. There's no way to do both. You're
Mhm.
not suddenly going to be, I've got to control all my life and I've got to manage all the fears and then poof, no, I don't. It's like, it's almost a decision. It's a decision that, okay, the old way isn't working. It isn't. I'm not feeling better. I'm not experiencing more. So for this moment, I'm going to just allow a new possibility.
Mm.
Just open up and allow that there is a new possibility of being that is not fear-based.
Absolutely. I really love what you just said because I think that it's not about completely getting rid of fear because that is a habit, for one thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
also part of being human. It is trying to protect you. It is a matter, and I love what you said here. It is a matter of making that choice. All right, am I going to buy into the fear and allow that to put a stranglehold on me? Or am I going to decide that trust is the bigger power and
Mhm.
really trust that, you know what, I'm going to be okay? Because the trust part is going to help you raise your frequency. And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, one little tiny moment, one little tiny thought action, allowing it a time. Just for this moment, I'm going to open up to the possibility of all that can be by simply allowing and trusting.
Yeah. Ready to join us live on these calls? Send us an email at info.hoomadhi, that's HOOMADHI, @gmail.com. We'd love to have you play with us.